The secret journey to become world number one. Those who become the top 50 or the top 30 in the world have suffered the interference of the mind for quite a long time. But this is where the fun begins. Some stay at this level, others rise to a point, some fall back, and a few rise all the way to the world number one. How much of this is related to the mind? 100% of it. You see, when you get to the top 20, 30, or 50 in the world, in anything, talent is no longer of any consequence. The professional athlete is taught to keep getting better and get a little better today than he was yesterday and keep practicing. The sports psychologist will tell him to stick with the process. If you recall, when we first began working together, almost all of you came to me with one or more such phrases on your lips, remember? But an entirely new form of training is required to get from 50 or 30 to world number one. From here on, it's the gauntlet, my friend, the gauntlet of the human mind. You asked why it is that the mind makes things difficult for the pro athlete. You asked why is it that the mind makes things difficult for the pro athlete. It's not that the mind made it difficult for you. The reason that you experienced so much difficulty and pressure and anxiety and pressure and fear and the whole bit is because you tried to fight the mind. A few of you even told me that your sports psychologist asked you to talk back to your mind and to say the opposite of whatever it told you. How did that go over? This is why I don't believe in sports psychology. In the past discussions via email or telephone or face to face, we have explored how and why the mind sabotages the professional athlete and how it is that he or she can remain untouched by the mind. We have also discussed how the only true freedom is freedom from the mind. And through our training sessions, we have learned how to play as a master and be completely free. And we have learned how to do it on demand. Based upon the question you have asked, it seems we must revisit some of these truths. The secret path to world number one does not happen through the ice rink or the ski slope or the Olympic swimming pool or the fairways at the Augusta National. It happens squarely and solely through the tempest of the mind. If you fight this tempest, it will destroy you. If you listen to it, it will control you. So what is an athlete to do? As I have mentioned to each of you before, your greatest weapon is an unshakable understanding about the fundamental nature of the mind. Not psychology, not behavioral modification, not positive thinking, not visualizing, not hope, not process. Understanding. Why? Because once you truly understand something very interesting happens. You become free of it. You escape its grasp. You asked why did the mind trouble you and why it continues to trouble you today. Let me ask you a question. Does a dog barking in the distance trouble you? Does it put you into consternation? Does it make you feel in? Does it make you fret and analyze? No. Why not? Because you firmly understand that it is a dog and a dog's nature is to bark. And because you understand this, it doesn't trouble you on any deep level. If we apply this to the mind, what did we learn in the week 1 about the mind? Anybody? We learned that the mind is a desiring machine and that because it desires something, it simultaneously fears that it won't get it. And the fear of not getting it far exceeds the desire for getting it. Therefore, in your journey to world number one, the mind intensely desires this position. And in each of your tournaments, in each shot that you took, in your imaginings about the tournaments, in your anticipation of major championship and Olympic events, it caused you untold anxiety. It sabotaged your efforts. Why? Some of you think that it's because you wanted it too bad. While that is to some degree true, What is slightly more accurate is that its fear of not getting it was monumental, and the fear of not getting it made you tight and made you think. I don't care if you were positively thinking or negatively thinking, it's still thinking. And the human being becomes instantly world class the moment he is not thinking at all. With increasing fear of failure came increasing thoughts. With increasing thoughts came increasing perceived consequences. With increasing perceived consequences came increasing anxiety. And with increasing anxiety came a loss of freedom. As, as for being patient, I think it's overrated. Impatience and urgency work far better than patience. Patience is certainly a virtue in the heat of the tournament in order to stay disciplined. But make no mistake, getting to world number one is all about fire blazing urgency. When I first heard Raphael's word, the part of the phrase which caught my eye was, maybe there is something more that I need to do. As each of you can attest to, I hear everything a pro athlete says when I'm working on him. Everything. Because he cannot hide the truth for long. His words will reveal his heart, sooner if not later. For Raphael to say that maybe there is something he needs to do, what it suggests is that he has insight. And believe me, insight is perhaps the rarest trait of a professional athlete. Such people tend to be receptive and they tend to have a better than average shot at becoming world number one. I'll put it plainly. Most athletes are taught and believe that doing more of the same in greater numbers and with greater intensity will get them to the top. This is common and wishful thinking. But rare is the athlete who even entertains the possibility that perhaps there is something other than what he is currently doing. That holds the key to his ascent to world number one. I'm not sure if Raphael has even considered being world number one in any serious way. Most professional athletes are terrified at such a prospect, whether they admit this even to themselves. But that statement implies that Raphael has the DNA to do it if he becomes serious about it. Thus, the secret path to world number one is not quite the mind or fight the mind. You cannot quiet a storm, and if you fight with it, you will lose every time and lose badly. The secret path to world number one is to train every day to reach the state of no mind. Each of you has done at least a portion of my no mind training, and the astronomical results have spoken for themselves. This is complete freedom. The professional athlete has all of his talent suddenly available to him at his disposal. He is clear and he becomes as close to perfect as human can be.